Are you dealing with a narcissist in a court setting and just think everybody is constantly believing this person and you just can't get a break? Well, okay, this is your day, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to expose that narcissist in court so that you can shift the dynamic and finally start seeing things going your way. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung, top 1% attorney and the best-selling author of the books Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a step-by-step divorce guide. And I've helped thousands of people go from lives of drama, trauma, and chaos all the way into stepping into lives of freedom, possibility, and purpose. And I do the same thing for you right here on this channel. So make sure you've subscribed and you hit that notification bell, and that way you'll get notified when I upload new content. Now, you're dealing with a narcissist in a court setting, and you're feeling like they just always get their way. I've dealt with it so many times where people will come into my office, even in the beginning of a case, and say, I think that they're gonna fool everyone because the person who's the narcissist is going to win, is going to get everybody to believe that they're wonderful and I'm horrible. And narcissists do start their smear campaigns in that discard phase. And if you want to know more about what the signs are of a smear campaign, definitely check out my video on signs of a narcissist smear campaign. But once that smear campaign starts, they're in this mode of trying to make sure that you're the one that looks bad and they're the one that looks good. So they're going to be kind of love bombing everybody in the system, including the judges, including their lawyer, your lawyer even, and if there's a custody evaluator involved, they're going to be love bombing that person. And they're going to be trying to make you look like you're the bad one. So they may be filing bogus motions. They may be calling you an abuser, really horrible things. I've seen, really good parents be the victim of the other parent saying, that parent is an abuser, or that parent is unfit, or that parent is a drug addict, or something like that. And you're sitting there thinking, I'm like having coffee in my house, I don't really know. But they start that, and they not only say it to people sometimes, they actually even put it in pleadings. You'll actually see a motion or something that is filled with lies. And you think, how are they getting away with this? How are they getting away with this? I can't tell you how many clients I've heard say to me, how are they getting away with this? Well, let me just first address that. The one thing that you have to remember is that the only person who has any power to order somebody to do something is the judge, no one else. I actually had a client say to me, you've done nothing to control him and his behavior. And I remember thinking, what would I do other than file motions? Because that's the power that your lawyer has, is to file something with the court. But remember, when something is filed with the court, it just sits there in the clerk's file, doesn't do anything until a hearing is actually had, because those filings are, for the most part, not evidence that can be accepted into the court system, actually in a hearing setting. So once that motion is filed, then you can go in front of a judge. And that's how you can start exposing the narcissist in court. How do you do it? You do it by not actually saying the person is a narcissist. Don't use the word narcissist in court. I actually have a whole video on that. Make sure you check that out on whether you can even use the word narcissist in court. But what you're going to do is you're going to actually have other ways that you can expose this narcissist for their behavior. And you do that very systematically. There's no magic wand. There's no go buy this thing and that's going to be the thing, other than the SLAY program, because the SLAY program will show you how to do that. But what you're going to be doing is creating documentation and exhibits that actually systematically show that that person is a bad person. And you want to do it in light of the statutes, in light of something that the judge is going to care about. Because remember, the judge has to apply the law. That's the judge's job. So what a judge will do is they'll listen to that side, they'll listen to this side, but remember, they just get a little teeny snapshot. You might have been dealing with this person for 15 or 20 years. You get like a couple of hours in front of a judge to expose this person. So you want to make sure it's good. You want to make sure that it packs a punch. So you're going to create summaries, for example, of when the person lied, and then have all your supporting documentation attached to it, or create summaries of when they didn't pick up the kids, or didn't show up on time, or bad-mouthed you, you know, something like that. But you're going to do it in light of the statute. So if the best interest of the child statute says that parents are supposed to foster a close and continuing relationship between the children and the other parent, and you've got tons of text messages where they're saying to the kids that, you know, the other parent is an alcoholic, or neglectful, doesn't want you, or something like that. Those become wonderful trial exhibits. So, you know, you're actually giving the judge something that they can hold on to, that they can use when they're applying that law, that actually gives you the results that you actually want. Just going in and saying that person is a narcissist isn't going to get you anywhere. So that's not how you expose them. You expose them by actually doing your homework, which a lot of that, I have a 45-page workbook in the SLAY program, so you should definitely check that out. But that's how you're ultimately going to expose them, by systematically using the information that you have and putting it together in light of the statutes that the judge is actually going to care about. That's how you will expose them. And if you are so ready to expose that narcissist in court, give me an expose the truth in the comments. So remember that narcissists feed off of narcissistic supply, and one of the things that they're going to do is try to get all the judges and everybody to love them. So what you want to do is create leverage by figuring out which person in the system they're going to respect the most, which is probably the judge, and then create leverage, which is going to potentially threaten to expose them for who they are. So, and if you want to know more about leverage, definitely check out my video on creating leverage. But that's going to be one of the whole keys to this whole thing. That's the L in my SLAY program. So S is strategy and L is leverage. So you want to create this leverage that's going to threaten to expose them, and that way they potentially might even settle. And I know a lot of people think, oh, nobody ever settles with a narcissist. You can never get them to settle, but that is so not true. If you threaten a supply source that's more important for them to keep than the supply that they get from jerking you around in the system, you will be able to resolve your case. So if you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, make sure you grab my free Crush My Negotiation Prep Worksheet. Don't walk into a negotiation setting without it. It's like basically an ebook, and you can get it at winmynegotiation.com, or just click the link below. If you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, especially if you think somebody else could benefit from it. Make sure you share it. And if you haven't subscribed, now's a good time to do that. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you are dealing with a narcissist and you want more support, come and join me in my free private Facebook group. It's called Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung, and we'll make sure to drop a link to that below as well. Tons of support. You can vent, you can cry, you can get with people who are dealing with exactly what you're dealing with. So thanks so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you stopped by my channel. And remember, today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'll see you in the next video.